Shishimati Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Anant Bharavashani is gone beauty foundation Shri Prabhupada Ki Dalpan all glories to the Summit, all glories to the Summit, all glories to the Summit, all glories to Shishi Guru Guru, all glories to Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Bhagavani, Krishna, Nirvasesa, Sumavada, Skakyavi, Satori. Sri Chaitanya Manavada, Stars, Dapitanya, Lavatarin, Swayam, Rupa, Pidamayam, Tadati, Vandam, Sri Guru, Sri Uttara, Parakimala, Sri Guru, Varshavam, Sham, Sri Rupam, Samiratam, Sahagana, Vajratam, Yatam, Sagiram, Sarvetam, Sadaritam, Parijana, Saitam, Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Radha Krishna Padam, Sahagana, Dalita, Sri Vishakam, Krishna. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu, Jogapati, Gopishna, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namastate, Tata Kanchana Gauravi, Radha Vindaveshwari, Rishabhama Sutadevi, Pranamam. Manjakalpatarubhyacha, Kripa Sindhu Vacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavyo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srimad Gaura Bhakti. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yanabhaitarem Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapanantikam. When we as Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada were to establish within this material world a mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. So the theme was, what is it? Loving exchanges. Because it's naturally come from nectar of instruction by Rupa Goswami. I'd like to read an introduction to the nectar of instruction. Let's see. The Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Rupa Raghunatha Pare Haive Akriti Kabehama Gujavatse Vila Pinti. When I'm eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the signs of Krishna. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mode of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the six Goswamis, Sri Rupa, Sanatana, Bhatta Raghunath, Sri Jiva, Gopal Bhatta, and Rasa Raghunath. Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us this Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction to follow. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known in Shikshastaka, Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, sattva, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami. And then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. The follower of the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses, and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami, and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books, such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidaka Madhava, and Lalita Madhava. But Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Vishwarup Mahotsav, Krishna Balaram Mandir, Brahma Reti, Vrindavan, India. But it doesn't say what year this was. But it came out somewhere 75. As I remember. And we heard the story how Prabhupada, they had it published, the devotees first printed 5,000 copies. And Prabhupada said, then they told Prabhupada, Prabhupada, why only 5,000? It should be 50,000. So they thought, well, we thought this is confidential literature. This is confidential literature, so it should be for the devotees, initiated devotees. So I said, no, print 50,000, because it became printed in much more than 50,000 copies. I don't know how many, hundreds and thousands or millions of whatever around the world. So therefore, it's an interesting small book, and then here is a prayer. Is Rupa Raghunatha Pare Haida Kutiku Kava Hamam Bhujava Sevda Yugala Pesa when I'm eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. And then Narottama was singing his words. This is really a pocket, pocket guide. Pocket guide for the devotees. I mean, actually, we start from the beginning. It starts with being a guru. You can imagine. First you read all these and you become really highly elevated. Then you can become a guru. But here is the beginning is guruship. And then you can look at that. So first of all, become a guru. then you can study. Well, that's maybe correct also, because actually to really study into it, you must enter into it. You need to have some qualification. But of course that is like the seemingly contradictory thing that then Prabhupada said, no, everyone should be printed 50,000, everyone should have it. So that way. But the instruction is to become a guru. So then we can say, to be a guru is not such a big thing. I mean, we can say the big thing is to become a pure devotee, love of Radha and Krishna. Of course, we can read it. Vachu vegam anasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam udarupasta vegam, etan vegam yogi sahenta dhira, sarvam apimim pritivim sasishya. The sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So that's how Swami defines. Of course, we could take that he puts this verse there in the beginning. Hey, this is what you should become. You say like that. This should first you're putting like the goal. But it doesn't say, for one who knows the loving blossoms of Radha and Krishna can become a guru in the whole world. So, but rather, we have to, we should be sober persons, and then somewhat sattva, cool-minded, whatever. And then being sober means that we can tolerate the urge to speak. The mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. So there is, like this, it doesn't say that there is no urge to speak, there is no mind's demand, that there is no action of anger, there's no urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. It doesn't say that it's all gone. It just says you have to learn to tolerate it. You're qualified enough to tolerate it. And in one sense, I mean, we could say that means also that we have had a higher taste. That's a lot of Mahasuka. Was it one? One may restrict one's. Okay, the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, though the taste for sense objects remains. But ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness. So that we have to have we may restrict ourselves artificially or mechanically or in this way or that way. But unless there is a higher taste, we will not be in a safe position. We really, when you got the higher taste, and the lower taste is not so attractive. So we can say that when you have to sober, have had some higher taste, and then these other things, it will be easy to bypass them, tolerate them, or not paying attention to that what distracts our mind, or urge to speak and this and that, and mind's demands. So it starts with becoming a good devotee, and Prabhupada spoke in the introduction here about becoming a Goswami. And also, you have to become a Goswami. And of course, I used to say that you don't have to take sannyas to take sannyas. You don't have to take sannyas. And the one that we heard from Yadunandan Swami, he was a visit. He says that you don't. The essential thing is not to change dress. The essential thing is to change inner attitude. So, what is your intention? What is our intention? What is it we want with the title? Because, or with the dress? Is it reputation? Being known and respected or like that, or do we actually want it as a platform for progressing in spiritual life? So he yes, so we should become Goswamis. And then of course we can say, in this verse here then says, well, a Goswami we expect this from. A good devotee we expect this from. And then we can enter further into devotional life. And then maybe being there, you may be qualified and more able to understand the loving pastimes of Radha and Krishna as described by Rupa Goswami as he's writing about these matters. Otherwise, maybe putting this control or be tolerant of the urges, otherwise we may end up, if that doesn't come first, then we may end up like the Sahajas, taking it so cheaply, the elevated pastimes of Radha and Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's quite systematic, small. So then Rupa Goswami speaks the words too. Atyahara prayasa cha pradyapo nyantaha yana sangha shalodhyam sha sadhi bhakti vinasyati. So then he spoke of what would serve, what is it? It says, spoil one's devotional service. What do we spoil our devotional service? Once devotional service is spoiled, okay, what we should watch out for? Avoid. Okay, we should control the senses, and we should watch out for these things. Once devotional service is spoiled, when it becomes too entangled in following 6 activities: eating more than necessary, or collecting more funds than required. Because that's collecting more funds than required. In the modern time, we're welcoming funds for serving Krishna. But if it's otherwise it's not interesting. When the intention is right, when the goal is right, then it is good. Otherwise, it may become, okay, then we can also, maybe some places they're collecting money for the project, but at the same time benefiting from itself personally. So then I can say then it's not pure. And then it becomes, in one sense it becomes polluted, becomes maybe cause of pollution instead of spiritual progression. Something could be seen that way. Okay. 2. Over-endeavoring for mundane things that were difficult to obtain. Well, that's mundane things. We should endeavor for spiritual matters. Talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Of course, that sounds like we go to the first words. To be able to tolerate the urge to speak. That's so many nice things to speak about. We may think, but then it says. Talking unnecessary about mundane subject matters. 4. Practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement. So that we get back to not just a robot mechanical, not just a mechanical following, but following with understanding. Again, I say use this word intention like that, because that is what is it? Sankalpa. When you perform a sacrifice like that, to have like a sankalpa. Or when we went for Rajmanda Parikram, then we made a sankalpa, some kind of promise or prayers that yes, we are going to do this. And so we had a direction to go. And of course, we may ask them do this for what reason? And then we can say, well, for the sake of progressing in spiritual life. And that we can say that there is okay, understanding why we're doing it. And that's also said that the sacrifice made with knowledge, with understanding, has a higher potency, or is more proper than if it's just, let's say, mechanically done. And then we can say here that it's not a mechanical process. And then, of course, mechanically following or reacting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. So that way we are not too much, not mechanical following, neither giving up. We should follow properly. And then another hindrance is associating with worldly-minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And then we can say, of course, that we may ask, what are we doing on modern times? We meet with so many people, and maybe relatives and others. But maybe we can say associating with. I think Bhakti Thakur said something that you're friendly, kind, you're interacting, but you're not really associating, meaning you don't give your heart to them. You keep there's a certain limit or border where I don't want to betray my inner ideals and goals, and that Prabhupada will also speak in a later purport about. And then finally, number 6, being greedy for mundane achievements. So of course, being greedy for mundane achievements. Then maybe we can say greedy for, I think of reputation. Being greedy for, being greedy to be known in society. That is, I think sometimes the Swami spoke about the stool-like desire for, what was it? Stool-like desire for fame and recognition. I want to be famous. The famous speaker of Bhagavad Gita. Of course. Well, it can, the contamination is subtly we may yes, we really like to be famous. Maybe the fame has to do with want to be appreciated. We could also could translate it to want to be appreciated and liked. Like that in a way. Want to go on? Yes. Okay. So that is a challenge. The challenge to avoid all these things that may be a hindrance on the path of Krishna consciousness. Of course, then we can say we have to have we have the goal clear. Then of course you may just go for the goal, but then you may also have to look out for the pitfalls on the way. But if you just look for the pitfalls and don't know what's the goal, then you don't fall into the pitfalls. But on the other hand, we don't really, we may not really reach the goal. We may miss the real point. Okay, that's on the negative side. Then there is verse 3. Utsaham nishayada yata tatlama pravartanam sangatyagat satornite sadbhi bhakti prasidati. There are 6 principles favorable to the education of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic. 2. Endeavoring with confidence. 3. Being patient. 4. Acting according to regulated principles, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarana, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. I remember this verse, and it was 75. Our Harkesh came to Sweden from India as a fresh science. And he was giving lecture, and he was quoting this verse with someone I was asking, where is that coming from? Maybe I was a little bit like, hey, what is this quoting? Where is he speculating? Not actually, I just wanted to know where it came from, but he didn't really explain it to me. Because just short after that, the nectar devotion came in our hand, and then we can understand where it came. But that was like a great secret, something new. That's why you also, you want to have something new. The old wine is not good enough. We'll always say the old things. Okay, so one should be enthusiastic. Okay. With great enthusiasm, embrace the path of Krishna consciousness, and endeavor with confidence, having confidence that the goal will be reached. It works. And also being patient, having that we can say, enthusiastic and patient. We have enthusiasm, and then we may become impatient, not have the not staying with the past. And then acting according to regulated principles. So that's as described here, not acting in inappropriate way. This brings about a disturbance for oneself and for others and for the society. And then, of course, acting according to regulated principles. Then it says, such as, in brackets, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, remembering Krishna. That's the regulated principles. You ask, what's the regulated initiation? You ask, what's the regulated principles? Someone say, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, no, this. Because I say, we can also say, yes, it means, positively speaking, that truthfulness, truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, and compassion. You can take it like that. But then here, then we can take it meaning that also regulated principles. But then here it says, then a further regulated principle is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. To hear about the Lord and speak about the Lord and to remember the Lord. And then there is fifth, there's a positive and negative, well, it's positive, the positive side. We should not associate with materialistic and whatever mind values. And then the instruction is abandoning the association with non-devotees. In one sense, that maybe for us, or for you, or for us, then we think about relatives and old friends. But sometimes it's also like, if they don't respect Krishna, then it will be difficult to associate. But if they respect a little bit, and it's a little bit, maybe a little bit appreciative, then then it's fairly easy. I mean, you can say, good, well, there's someone a little bit respectful, can appreciate something. But if there's no appreciation, if you end up parents trying to brainwash us or something, because they will say, okay, or others, then we will keep a respectful distance. Maybe also a respectful distance. Of course, and then then we can also say amongst the devotees, I mean, later on here will come abandoning association of non-devotees. Because for the devotees, if I'm serious in Krishna consciousness and I want to chant and do like this, then another devotee just comes and talks his prayer, his spiritual insights of some kind, disturbs my japa and peace of mind or something, and it's not relevant to me or something. Then we may also say, Hare Krishna, we go somewhere else or something. Because at the same time, we will, with the greatest respect, with respect, say, okay, nice Prabhu. We will not be rude or anything necessarily. Yes.
And then Lord Chaitanya, he uses the expression asat sangam. So asat means, doesn't refer necessarily to materialist or devotee. It means somebody who comes with asat, comes with materialistic.
Yes.
It can come from materialist, it can come from a devotee, and from a materialist can also come from spiritual sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
well,
because Bhakti Notaka list also among the list of non-devotional association, it also lists materialistic devotee or fancy or whatever. It's not just this person categorized like this or this person. It's what association is offered.
We say what association, what sound vibration counts.
Yeah, but when it's in the case of a devotee, it's a lot easier to steer it back to the actually Prabhu, this is not very important. But with a non-devotee, that's impossible. But then it is very important.
Yeah, okay. Well, that with the devotees, it will be, or should be at least, mostly easy to steer it right if we feel that is required. Whereas with the non-devotees, then, okay. As you said, that's their reality, they're living with. Okay, good. And then it says, following the footsteps of previous acharyas. So then we can say, well, that is in this matter about Bhakti Thakur and others, making Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's as that saying. So we can, in one way, try to follow the track, follow in the footsteps of the previous acharya. That's a principle. That's a principle favorable for devotional service. So that is, of course, a little bit of the purport there. Prabhupada says, devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu has defined devotional service as follows. This is the foundational sloka. Anyabilasita sunyam jnana kamarinaditam anakulyana Krishna shilanam bhakti uttama. Uttama bhakti, unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. This devotional service should be free from any extraneous motive and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal jnana, and all other selfish interest. Again, that's giving this basic. That's in the beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, let's now. So having this as a background, then we can speak about loving exchanges. You say that? I see one set up the key. Yeah. Dadati pratigrinati goyamankyati prichati untibujaya vecheva sanvidam pritilakshanam. Offering gift in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another and another. We can say here is now we have been a little purified, rectified, and in the right state. And now we can speak about loving exchanges. Now we can maybe then we can engage in loving exchanges. Otherwise it becomes rasa basa, coming together and start to speak about mundane things, or is too much interested in just achievements, maybe mundane achievements of this or that, and then it would not really function, so to say. So here is between the serious devotees, sometimes serious devotees, good devotees. Then we can speak about pure devotees. Some pure devotees sounds quite high. Because Prabhupada said, only from Chaitanya Charitamrita in the beginning, Prabhupada speaks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing his theatre plays, enacting the pastimes of the Lord. And then Srila Prabhupada says that the devotees should make theatre plays. They should make it. It should be. It's like imperative, well, with a positive recommendation. I mean, in any case, when you put on the plays and Govindas and the pastimes, that play is really a way of getting absorbed in the pastimes and the narrations and everything. No. But then Prabhupada said, and this play should be played by pure devotees. Oh. So, what hope do we have? And then, who is going to decide who is a pure devotee or not? Prabhu, you're not qualified. You can't say that. So then Prabhupada gives a definition, but then he gives a nice definition, very clear, simple definition of pure devotee. Someone who follows the 4 regulated principles. Because maybe for some, even that is difficult. But whether you are from Mangalartik or dancing, chanting all the time or something, we may not qualify, but if we can follow the 4 regulated principles, and we're doing quite fine, according to that definition of Srila Prabhupada, qualifying myself in some nice place, playing. So there it's here is offering gifts in charity, and then so this is couples. Offering gifts in charity, and then accepting charitable gifts. Revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially. Accepting prasad and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. So then, maybe for me, what looks important first is that it's 2 ways. You give gifts, and then you will get gifts. And then you say thank you. I mean, that is 2 ways. And then I learned in the systemic field, it's like, if you give and give, but don't want to accept anything in return, then it becomes like this imbalance in the exchange. And it feels like, oh, take your Prabhu. Sometimes someone, God knows me, feel like to give. And then you feel like, well, you don't really feel like, what's going on? What's the motive behind it? So you feel a bit like that. So therefore, you give gifts, you should give gifts, and of course then the question is, how it has to, then we may also ask, how big does a gift have to be? It doesn't have to be big. Patram puspam palantiyan. I mean, that's what Krishna says, and offer me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it. So actually, I think this is a universal principle. You give something small, and maybe if you can give something that's, from my point of view, that's relevant for the person you give it to. I mean, you think, oh, you go through it. What could the person possibly need for his life, his or her life, or and then of course for the devotees is one thing. What would he or she need for his service of the Lord? For the Sharanam Shilas, or Giriraj, or and they like to give. So, okay, but it can be something small, but the principle is that one gives something. It's also stated when there's a regulated principle in the nectar of devotion that when you come to the temple, you should give something. You shouldn't come empty-handed. You should actually state it that you should come give. But then again, it may just a flower, fruit, or water. Maybe water also, of course. Then you come to the plastic cup of water from back. In the Radha Mandir, Prabhupada spoke about this old lady, or ladies who every morning, I think Prabhupada called them, said they were pure devotees. And that I've seen these ladies coming there. Yes, so in any case, they every morning went with a container, went down to the Yamuna, picked thank you. Hare Krishna. They went down to the Yamuna to pick up some Yamuna water for the worship of Radha Damodar. Like special water, like that. So then Prabhupada said, as I remember, he defined them or her, if it was one or more, that then it was like they were pure devotees. Because they did it every day. And you could also say,
this is also in Yamuna's book, there the name is actually given of this lady, and the day when she didn't come, then Prabhupada said, oh no, she went back.
So they actually departed while they were there. But then most probably, there was another lady taking over the service. At least when I was there, actually from our point of view, not so long after, I mean, early 90s, that's true, I was blessed to be there. So there was these old ladies coming for every Mangal Arctic. And they were bringing, some were bringing a kiwi lamp or something, this and that, but they were there outside the door waiting for Mangal Arctic. And I think it was supposed to start 4:30, but it could be delayed to 5. One occasion they came to bathe, and that was also interesting to see them change. They're coming, these ladies, very enthusiastic, living nearby, every morning for Mangalartik. And then one evening, I noticed that the Goswami and his sons were up late, watching TV. Wonderful devotees. And then this, the one son who was to make the Mangalartik next morning was quite delayed. And that's interesting to see the response, they changed next morning. So the ladies are coming there very early, and then, kind of knocking on the doors, knocking. There's these wooden doors, or outdoor doors, before you get into the courtyard. And then I'm there, I'm awake, and I can see they're waiting. I didn't know that the Prabhu was up late yesterday night. I'm wondering what's going to happen. But finally he gets it together and he comes. And then opens so they can come in and then he has a speech. Yes, the Lord was very busy having pastimes last night. And then they say, oh yes, very good. They kind of they accepted it as an explanation. They didn't start to argue with him. Really? Are we going to believe that? But rather, they said, oh yes. And there was Mangalartik, and they were happily, I don't know who they were, I've forgotten what. They were not chanting the Rastaka prayers, but something. Well, Mangalartik means banging the gong. And then they sprinkled the water at some point, and sprinkled water, and then the gong stopped, and then the artik was over. Okay. Charitable gifts. No, but the point, they were giving water, okay. But then we could also say giving every day. Like on a regular basis. That's kind of a qualification. That we can say that it also qualifies the service. Okay, we do it nicely one time, but it's like, well, I chanted 16 rounds yesterday. Well, last year I did very good. But then it's like the challenge is within the frame of this lifetime to with quality, chant and read and hear and serve. So we give gifts in charity. Well, the idea is we give gifts and then acceptable charitable gifts, and then maybe an art to accept and receive them. So there's a change. It's going in two ways. And then it becomes more balanced. And then revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring confidentially. So that is, of course, there may be many different levels there. Well, of course, pure devotees come together and confidentially, well, I really wonder how can I serve the Lord? In some confidential way. Because then another aspect could be that was Yadananda Swami and his seminar he gave about the Swamis as he has giving out his produced academic work on the challenges of sannyasis in modernity. And then many times there is this, and then they are there Swami, and then they end up in some difficulty. They dare not. Then he interviewed Swami, ex-Swamis and present, good standing Swamis. These ex-Swamis said, then sometimes it was indicated that they dared not to reveal. There was no one for them to speak with. So when they got in difficulty or needed help or kind support, it wasn't there. They couldn't trust because they were speaking. I don't know, some cases they're speaking and then it's broadcast all over this one. I mean, that's that fear or that thing happens, and then we can say that goes back to not being able to control the tongue and the mind. So the challenge for us is to become qualified Vaishnavas on all different, also being able to control or tolerate the mind's need, the mind thinking and the urge to speak or hear something immediately to speak about it. Because then in modern time, then we immediately have to write about it on the internet. So that is confidence, revealing one's mind in confidence. So that is one thing, and then one hand revealing one's mind, then in one way vulnerable, and in order for that to work, then is one actually have confidence in the person with whom you reveal the mind. Because then also is the confidence in whether maybe it can be different. Also, if you have something confidential spiritually in the practice or whatever, then you may also feel that you want to speak to someone you have confidence in, who actually has competence to answer the question. And then finally, inquiring confidentially, revealing. Revealing what's wrong, inquiring confidentially. Well, that means, on one hand, inquiring confidentially, revealing one's mind, but also be willing to listen when without betraying the one who confides, betraying or misusing. Okay, finally, then we have given gifts. We have our intimate or confidential talk, and then there should be some prasadam. Take some prasadam. And then we accept prasadam, and then maybe at another time we give prasadam. So that way it's a complete picture. And then Prabhupada here, the purpose is speaking about our Hare Krishna movement is actually based, our Hare Krishna movement is based on this principle of inquiring confidentially and giving gifts, taking gifts. Okay, people give gifts to us, donations, whatever we think they can. And then Prabhupada said, we give in our way of literature, of Krishna consciousness, or we give gifts in the form of association, lectures, whatever, visits. So Prabhupada said in that way, our Krishna consciousness is like a form and expands around the world. And then what he does mourn for in the purport, he speaks. Well, one thing is he says this is a principle also applicable in the material sense, let's say. Make a good relationship with anyone. That's the basic principles. But then he said, revealing one's mind in confidence, that he should not reveal one's mind, or there's no reason to approach. He speaks about Mayavad is an atheist, who then we can say will not appreciate, who doesn't understand. Then we can say being avoiding Asad Sangha.
So question, what makes these exchanges into loving exchanges, or so that they are not, could they be just exchanges, like a process? You read about, okay, this is part of Krishna consciousness, and you take part of what makes it loving exchanges, and not simply exchanges as a process, like we follow.
As a formality, the exchanges as a formality. Well, even if you follow, even if you would say it is formality, still it follows a certain procedure that in itself may procedure that in itself will bring out appreciation. And then of course we say loving exchanges here. I think the word is priti lakshanam. Priti, well, Prabhupada says love. I also have got some idea that it means affection. Well, someone gives something you lovingly, caringly, whatever, then you feel, for whatever reason, but then you feel affect, you feel thank you, mostly. Well, normally we respond and say thank you. Maybe just someone says on the bus, dear sir, please sit down here. That's what happened to me once. I was tired standing there, and then my lady said, well, I'm getting off next door, please sit down. So then I said, okay, thank you. And then naturally you feel like blessing or wishing well that person. So it's not that she loved me, but she saw that I needed someone to sit down, and then standing up, and a younger person, if you say like that. So then we become affected. So therefore we can say it has a value, even if you take it as a formality. There's a certain formality protocol, but then that is a protocol of formality that brings out the better part of us. Also like the Guru Puja, Prabhupada's Guru Puja, and then Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, and then we have the Vyasa Puja, something like that. Bathing the feet. You can say it's a protocol. For us Westerners, we're not used to it. I think it's, by all this. But then for India, that's standard. Many times, you come, you sit down, and they may. But then the interesting thing there is again that they maybe don't make it too complicated. It can be quite easy to be done. So of course, then once we have the idea about in the past the sadhus walked bare feet. And then when you get to someone's house, please sit down, please let her wash your feet, it refreshes you, cleanses you, and then you maybe, please come and take some prasadam. So like that, you wash your feet, you wash your hands, and these kind of things. But then it's a protocol, but it creates, I say, protocol favors it. Please.
Just one example that, like Radha spoke about one, when somebody comes,
Yes.
Sunday feast, and they're making cards, so that's a loving exchange. And the next Sunday feast, they make the same cards. And the next Sunday feast, they make the same cards. So there is no same questions.
Oh.
There, or maybe not in the class, but just up during prasadam. You approach the sadhu.
Put the same question.
That means there is, what to say. And then he says, maybe you won't give more to that person because it's not received.
Yeah.
And in this way, there is an exchange, but it's kind of
superficial.
Yeah, he's asking, he's getting, but it's not received.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's asking again.
Yeah.
And
Yes, well, that way maybe can then go back to India. Maybe what's the backside of these formalities with Indians is like, I mean, they can put you, I don't know, exaggerating, maybe. You can put you through a whole process there. You're coming, but you know, I'm tired, travel a long way, you know, please just let me take a little bit of rest. You know, well, of course, sometimes the gurus and swamis and preachers come and they're very enthusiastic and you immediately sit in the house and gives us a lecture or something and maybe I don't feel it, but that's, you know, that, yes, okay. So there we can say, okay, now I'm coming to the temple and now I should ask you questions. I ask this question the next time. Yes, you do it in a mechanical way without really understanding. So of course that, but then we can take this taking and receiving, you know, when I give, because if I give, then they ask something and I give it, but they don't take it. In this case, they don't take it, so then why should I give it? And I say, okay. Well, once I was one Swami in Germany. He was a good. He was and is a good preacher. He's very selective with whom we speak with when we preach. After the lecture and the Sunday feast, very selective. When someone comes and asks, you see that it's not really. Don't ask. Speak with him. He kind of deflects him away to someone else to take care of. And then you see that there's someone. This is someone worth speaking to. There is an exchange, and that's something progressive. Then we takes it down. Yes. So yes, we give.
Sometimes somebody may give you something you don't like at all. Like sometimes to devotees they give some things which devotees don't take, like chocolate or then no, chocolate, something innocent, but yes, or something which you cannot eat according to your health or something like that. It's maybe saying the answer somebody gets, yeah, they don't like the answer. This is what I was ready to receive, the answer, like something you wouldn't eat naturally. And then sometimes maybe they ask more and more to get more satisfying answer. It happened to me. There is one very nice devotee. Whenever I ask him, I have a question and I want, and he answers me always in some way. I'm not satisfied. I like him so much how he speaks, but he never. And then I have to think all around what he meant. But I never found. Although I sincerely want answer. Yeah,
Okay. Yes. So there's many dimensions. This, you know. Yeah. And then, okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Well, okay. So we have now this wonderful festival here. And that's the whole idea. I mean, from 1 week's course, we can say this is also a change, taking and giving. And we've been putting on summer festivals here. When did we start?
Some 99 or 2000.
Yeah, 99, 2000. So in any case, that well is every year I have it. So then in any case, that's maybe our attempt to offer a gift or a facility for the devotional service in the Nordic region, so to say. And then of course, then you come, and then we, when one says, then we say, then guest comes and participate, and then we can say thank you. You know, I mean, it's one sense that we give an offer, and then it's coming, and then we say, okay, Hare Krishna. That's a good beginning. And then of course, then we arrange all kind of things. but then may also be limits, and then when the gas also helps, a little bit with the cleaning and everything and in the kitchen like that, but in a way of, then it's also like, we say thank you because it's maybe not an easy task to put it together, but so we can say it's an exchange, and by this exchange, there's a Krishna conscious atmosphere, and when the Krishna consciousness expands, I mean, it gives us an experience, and it's an experience, something for the whole yatra, and for the whole area. So that is a nice event here. And then of course there comes guest speakers, and I don't know, I haven't checked it out. I suppose we give them trying to give them good facilities and taking care of them, so that then they, in their turn, can give to us from their realization and understanding, share with us, and that way, as the loving it's a process of loving exchange is the Krishna consciousness, by which the Krishna consciousness expands in all different ways. Hare Krishna. Maybe I have some more questions. It's good comments. Thank you. Yes.
I don't know if I say something stupid, but it spoke about I can't speak louder.
Accept the mic, it's a gift. Doesn't work. Okay, speak loud. Let's go loud.
So we spoke about this loving exchanges are dysfunctional. It doesn't work.
Dysfunctional.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't work with this loving exchanges. But it was like seeing that this loving exchange was some procedure, and from this procedure there is some loving exchange generated. But it actually, as I understand, that if there is some love, then this love is manifested in these six exchanges. Yeah, you understand that?
Yes,
Instead
yes.
of seeing it from one direction,
yes.
you see it from the other direction.
Yes.
It is expressed, and this love is expressed in these six ways. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, then it goes both ways, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. There is, because then we have this principle, that love is there, but it must be contained in something. Yeah. Otherwise it's like, and then at one point it becomes disappointment, because we lovingly came and we expected, but then we haven't taken care of things. So, if we say, oh, we're going to have good festivals and everything, and then there's no prasadam or local prasadam, I'm sorry. Okay, no. Yes, thank you. So, in one sense, the love is here, but then I say the changes are good. I mean, they may actually further, you say the further love, either this way or that way, if you say like that. But there is a way, there's a need to express love. And then there's a certain, I would say, I call it protocol, or a little bit way of doing it. And that way it can expand. At the same time, we maybe a little bit formally does it, but still it's a way of being respectful and showing some appreciation. Yes, so, because sometimes we've said it's culture, in Indian culture, that there's culture, so there's a certain way of doing things that supports the exchange. or a change that supports the mood. Let's say. Whereas then I think, you know, I have one picture now from Estonia where it just came from. That's like a house. There's a wife, young wife. There's a husband. And coming, there's a father of the wife there, and coming, you know, the guy came there, another devotee also, they don't say hello. They don't come up and shake hands and say, okay, nice, so and so. That's nothing. It's just like almost as if it didn't exist. And that sometimes I find, so there is like a lack of culture of reciprocating, I would say. In any case, next day the Prabhu got caught in the police control. He didn't have any driving license. So there's a strange background, so to say. So there's a little bit strange background. We may here in the West in a certain way not have so much of a culture with not even there may be love or not really a culture that supports them, if you say it like that. In India, they're very affectionate, if you say like that, at least within the family. Possibly. Okay, so yes, good point. Hare Krishna. Yes, now what's the problem there?
Yes, I have one of those who shows the days, every day of Prabhupada, a saying, Prabhupada saying each day. And today it says he sent a letter to Brahmananda. I don't remember what year, but it says, if you don't, you are my body and limbs, and if you don't cooperate, then my whole life is useless. It says.
Yes.
Yeah. And
today's message.
Yeah, today's message. And if you don't cooperate, then my whole life is useless, he said. And I think to showing loving exchange and trying our best to raise above what can be separating us from showing this loving exchange, then in one way we are supporting some feeling of making Prabhupada's life and mission useless. This was my
If we don't, if we cooperate and
yeah, and showing our love and exchange to other devotees or newcomers and whoever who comes in contact with us, if we try our best, and if we don't, then we diminish Prabhupada's mission and
yes,
everything.
yes. Okay.
Okay,
so we want to expand.
yeah.
And well
Because
it is not exactly that we could say, I'm not going to cooperate. I'm not going to give any gift, and I'm not going to inquire confession. I'm not going to accept any prasadam.
No, but I mean that if we carry along with us the feeling that Prabhupada, by not doing our best, we making his mission less worth for him.
Yes, okay, that's good. Then we think in that way that, well, coming here and trying, we can say, well, it's not just for being social and nice and like that, but actually as a way of pleasing Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Pleasing him because it expands the Krishna consciousness movement, the relationship with him. Okay. Oh, it's yeah.
It's interesting to see how Prabhupada explains this verse in like the instruction that he is more than being an aspect of devotional service, these exchanges. It's more like he explains that it is the frame within
Yes.
everything goes on. It's not a procedure, it's everything you see changes, whether you see it or not. So you can see it as an exchange, or you can less of an exchange. Even like he says, book distribution is example of this.
Yeah.
Kirtan is exchange, so if somebody reads, somebody listens, somebody sings back.
Yeah.
A lecture like now,
Yeah.
somebody listens, somebody. So it's you offer a service to deities and inspire the devotees. That's a
Yes.
and they appreciate that. So, you know, so it's almost like a vision of everything we do. So you can see less as procedure and more as exchanges.
Yes. Okay. I'm defeated. Yes, no, but that's good. But we can see everything as, in that light of taking, loving exchange or taking and giving in this way, offering gifts or offering service or. And one thing is like the cow doesn't drink her own milk. So you know, we all. I don't really listen to my own lectures. You give the lecture, but it's not really for you to enjoy. But the audience, I don't know if you enjoy it, but on some level, whatever good is there, you know, even taking Krishna takes it, Prabhupada takes it, appreciates. We maybe should be detached also. We do, or we cooking. You cook a big feast. You don't eat it yourself. It makes you the pleasure, the investment you put, it goes out to all the others, and then so that way it expands. Yes, so that way we can take it all as in a way of loving or of affectionate exchanges. Exchanges going on all the time in different ways, and that way, and by that exchanging, that the marketplace is the holy name. That marketplace of exchanging goods, trading goods, in case the spiritual economy expands. Sounds great. Okay. Last one, okay.
I think maybe I'm tired today because I'm actually having a difficulty understanding the questions because they are so complicated. And I'm thinking with this book, of course, as we advance and as our knowledge grows, maybe we can go deeper and deeper in them. But also, these are really nice, simple principles.
Yes.
You know, control the mind and the speech, and give gifts and receive gifts, and then we know what to do in our devotional life. And usually, when we do these things, then it becomes a nice situation, a nice relationship. We go to each other, you know, not to criticize and not to demand, but maybe, you know, to serve some people or give something that they need, and then we create a very nice atmosphere between the devotees, and then the spiritual life becomes also easier when we have, you know, good relationships.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. No question.
So I just thought, like, what Prabhu was asking, where is the difference, loving exchange or just formality? And I thought maybe not always we have love, but by practicing, like by Bhakti, it grows maybe gradually and becomes love. So these principles are given. Once you said, Guru Maharaj, when there is love, the etiquette is not needed. There is no rules for love.
Still you give a gift. Still you bring some sweets. No, thank you. That's the way of expressing it. Marta, you there last.
I wanted to ask you, it's not on Padeshamita, my question, but not on that. When you started, you said devotees were going to print. The devotees were going to print 5,000 copies.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada said 50,000.
Yes.
And it came to my mind because we are working on it in French. We will publish it maybe within a few months, I don't know. And we had this discussion. with the French yatra. No, this is a book only for devotees. No, this is a book for Sankirtan distribution. And then it depends how many they would order. If a temple thinks it's just for devotees, you order a few. If you think it's for Sankirtan, you order more. What would you say? How do you see Pradeshamrita? Is it a book for Sankirtan?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the next thing is, from the BVT ordering like that is a question. Okay, if someone is only prepared to say, well, I need 1,000 copies, I need 500 copies, and takes the responsibility for those to be distributed. Or someone that says, let's have 10,000 copies, but then the 10,000 copies stands in the warehouse.
Yeah.
So then, I think that's how you
Yeah.
calculate.
I was wondering how you see it.
Well, I like to read it, okay? and I think Prabhupada said it with Prabhupada's purpose and everything, mostly, they can open anywhere and benefit from it, even if they know nothing. Okay, that's super.
I just wanted to say I joined because of that.
Oh,
You
okay.
joined.
That's it.
Anything.
Okay.
Okay, good. Then it's nice. Okay, we end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Scandinavian Bhakti Sangam 2017 ki jai.